in this workshop. And I think we can expect a very, very, very awesome evening. Hopefully, as some of you will join us, we got a couple of responses, so we pray everybody makes it tonight. But before we go any further, it is customary for us to say a word of prayer. So I would please ask you, just bow down your heads and let's pray.
Let's pray.
Father, in Jesus' name, we thank you tonight for making it possible for us to come together like this. We believe that you are in our midst because your word promises us that whenever 2 or 3 are gathered in your name. We're here tonight to discuss a social subject, but we believe that it is still relevant to you. We are asking your blessings upon tonight and upon everything we're going to do. We pray, oh Lord, that you will guide us throughout this session. Give us insight, wisdom, and let that also be humor. At the end of it all, let us all be happy and satisfied that we spend our time usefully. We commit those who are going to be speaking tonight, those who are going to be facilitating this program, and even our guests, those who are here and those who are coming. Father, we just ask your blessing upon tonight in a very special way. We thank you that you have heard us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Right. My name is Reverend Larry Dokeno, and I'm a pastor of the Bible Church here in Amsterdam Southeast. Together with my wife, Reverend Helen, we have been in this business of preaching the Word of God for over 18 years now. And along the line, the Lord kind of gave us the passion to deal with some of the issues which normally we cannot treat in the society or deal with in the pulpit, I should have said. There are certain matters which we cannot just, talk about or preach about in the pulpit. Those of us who go to church are the same people who live in society, we go to work and we do all kinds of things. And so realize that we are composite people. We have a spiritual life, we have an economic life, we have a business life, we have a family life. So all of these things affect us. And so we had a passion to begin to deal with some of the issues affecting us directly. And the Lord enabled us to get a time on the radio where we've been dealing with so many topics. Some of you are aware of it, and some of you probably are getting to know for the first time. One of the topics we have dealt with in the past 2 years has been domestic violence. And we know that it's a taboo topic because those of us who come from Africa, I come from Africa by the way, there's certain, what do you call it, traditions and beliefs which we have, and sometimes it rubs over in our relationships. And so now we are having to relearn some ways of dealing with ourselves and our partners. And of course, we know that domestic violence is not an African problem, it's a global problem. It's a global problem. And, the government has been trying to deal with this and through, non-governmental organizations, foundations, and... Sorry, I should have closed the door.
Sorry.
Sorry, but I didn't realize the sound was being drowned out. Yeah, so we've dealt with this topic over the years, at least the last 2 years. And I think the government actually is depending upon, NGOs, foundations, and all sorts of social groupings of communities to drive the message home. And I think this is where we come in. And we're grateful to God that under the banner of radiovoiceofnaija, we have the opportunity to deal with issues like this. And tonight, we're going to be talking not about domestic violence, but domestic harmony. Because we all know that men and women, couples fight, sometimes kids fight their parents and stuff like that. And we want to look at how to bring harmony, how to work this thing into reality. So we have some experts tonight who are with us, and we're going to help us. And I want you to know the format of session tonight is not going to be a lecture, it's going to be, what do you call it, a workshop whereby we are required to participate. So you're going to share with us your own take on the issue, your own point of view, your perspective. You know, you are free to disagree. Amen? See, I'm not in the church. That's the problem with preachers, you know. Amen comes out without them. Yeah, so you know, you're free to give your opinion, tell us you can disagree as much as you want. But at the end of the day, we want to learn something from one another. So that is why we're here tonight, and I want to say once again, very good welcome. Now, if you are here, you have not filled in the green form, please do that for us. The young lady who is helping us will bring to your phone. So just fill in your details for us, and then we will be on our way. I would like to. I'm MC for tonight. My MC, I think, is late, so I'm going to be in his place until he shows up. But to kick off the program, I'm going to invite the director of Radio Voice of Naija, who happens to be my own wife, and I would like to invite her to come and give us a little introduction about this program. But before she comes, I think it's proper to acknowledge those of you who are here, because you're very important. I want to do my best. I don't know everybody, but I want to do my best. I have here Miss Beryl. Stay back, right? Very talented, intelligent woman. If you should get to know her. I have Miss Maureen. Your last name I don't remember. Maureen. Sorry. Oh, she's somewhere. I'm doing the first one. Lady. Yeah. Yes, forgive me. Yeah. I have wow, Ruth, my own sister.
Ruth Bonnie.
Okay. This is helping me out. She doesn't want me to embarrass myself. So. I have at the back our daughter, Spenny Love. Yeah. She's a pastor's wife, by the way. And our own Mr. Okuns from the D66 Ozo party is here with us. Mr. Patrick Biggie, DJ of Brazil. I have a very fine lady at the back. She's called Miss Nancy Summer. Nancy is a program maker on Radio Razzle. If you come to what do you call it? Franklin here, opposite the former Start House. You see some big billboard over there with some. She's the one
anymore. They put me in the back.
She's a fine lady, so she's very popular. I have about Big is one of our own daughter's sisters, and Big is with the little daughter, Ijeoma. Ijeoma is the little one helping us. And I have Miss, the PRO of Nigerian Women of Integrity. I forgot the name. Miss Ola, welcome. Yeah. And then I have a very special lady, and you need to meet this lady. She is a woman of integrity. Yes. And she happens to be the president of Nigerian Women of Integrity. Miss Christy Ido. Very tall, gorgeous lady. Thank you. And then Miss, I'm sorry, will you please introduce yourself for us?
My name is Jens Milan, and I'm from Stadsdeel Zuidoost.
I thought that's right.
Sim from Toegaard.
Sim,
yes.
Yeah.
It's a little bit late.
Is it coming?
Yes, he's
coming.
coming.
Oh, good. We're going to have good company. Then I have our Spanish brother here, Mr. Omil de la Cruz. Omil happens to be also a member of the board of Pan-African Media, which is an umbrella organization for Radio Voice of Naija. Thank you, Ms. Omil, for coming. Okay. Now my job is done. Of course, we have two other guests I'm going to introduce to you. They're going to be a panelist. I'm going to introduce them later. All right? Okay.
I miss her.
Yeah.
Hold on. Miss Christy.
Ola.
Mrs. Ola.
I have rules already. Yeah, but you know. Okay. My name is Maria Ola.
They're interested in you, I think. So. Okay. It's my honor to give the floor to the Honorable and graduate celebration.
Well, once again, we welcome all of you to this beautiful location. And you must know that you are very special to us. And we want you to know that this is a very good place to stay so that we can all deliberate on this issue that is crushing the whole society. As we can agree that when there is no harmony in the home, we will see the reflection in society. So if we want to get the society fixed and get the people fixed, then we have to home. I believe in building up home. So I've been in a relationship for almost 20-something years with the same one man. Doing so many things together, and I think we cherish home and cherish family, and we believe that the impact of the family is very, very, very crucial in the building of the society. So whatsoever we are doing, whatever we have read, we don't need to forget the focus. The focus is that the family can never be stable when there is no stable, or a society can never be stable, I beg your pardon, when there is no solid family. For that cause, we are here tonight to discuss what's the best way to interact so that we can build up a solid family which will affect the community and affect our society. Is that good? Yeah. I took time a little bit to read about domestic harmony. And for those of us who are just maybe hearing this for the first time, domestic harmony is a situation in which people are peaceful and agree with each other, or when things seem right or suitable together. You see, when people work in collaboration and people work in a peaceful environment, that is what is being defined according to the Wikipedia that it is being defined as domestic harmony. But the question I want to ask us, and the reason why we are here tonight is, are every family enjoying domestic harmony? If we look at the marks in the society, and we look at the problems, we look around and see the vandalism, would you seriously say that people of our time are enjoying harmony? Can I hear you? No. Because you are nodding with your head. No. So, domestic violence have taken the order of domestic harmony. And what is domestic violence? It is a physical abuse directed towards your spouse or domestic partner. It is also known as domestic abuse or spousal abuse, battering, family violence, dating abuse, and intimate partner violence. It is a pattern of behavior which involves the abuse by one partner against another in an intimate relationship, such as marriage or collaboration or cohabitation, dating, or within the family. So people tend to abuse each other verbally or physically or otherwise. But often, and we always see that when the concept of domestic violence comes up, women are always at the advantageous position. But somehow along the line, even though I'm a woman, I also want us to look at it from a very global perspective, because there are so many men who are abused domestically, but they do not say it because they are shy. They are ashamed. So the purpose of tonight's workshop would be to, talk about some of these things and then bring harmony. See whether we can, achieve harmony. So even if we are able to impact one person from the understanding I know, from psychological point of view, I've heard that when you impact one person can reach out to 100 people. So if we impact one person tonight, we are sure of reaching about 100 homes that will be harmonious and a society that will be stable. Can you just Why is this necessary? I gathered some facts about domestic violence from national Coalition Against Domestic Violence report, look at this, and I believe if you have a blood inside you, you will win. It said between 600,000 and 6 million women are victims of domestic violence each year, and between 100,000 and 6 million men, depending on the type of survey used to obtain the data. So 606,000 million women are domestically abused every year. So do you see the reason why we have to talk about it? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello, it's getting so quiet here. And then about 100,000 and 6 million men are also victims of this. So the conclusion is that 85% of domestic violence happens among women and 15% among men. So we are here tonight to know how best to relate with each other. What is it that women are doing that's making men to hit them? Is it that we are giving too much of big mouth? Or is it that we are becoming heavy? Or is it that the men themselves are beasts? That made me say that? But I don't think they are. I believe that they got to be something that provokes them.
I think we live in a society where the man is putting the first steps, and even if the people who think like that think that women and men are equal, still the society looks to man. So also in a society that where men dominate, you can believe that when he dominates outside, like at his work, he will do it home. And without the skills he used at work. Because those are his, he can do whatever.
What she's trying to say here is that because I live in a chauvinistic society where men are the boss, so they have the tendency of bringing the same behavior in their domestic home, which is wrong. So they boss everybody out there and they come inside again to boss. So that could be the reason why the violence is very terrible.
But it's also for women, in those positions.
Yeah, so women in the same position also can abuse men. Well, nearly 7.8 million women have been raped by an intimate partner at some point in their life. Sexual assault or forced sex occurs in approximately 40 to 45% of battering relationships. So in a society where, or in a forum where people are not having rapport, people are not having peace, then the tendency to also jump upon the woman and you think you are making love with her, meanwhile you're raping her. So the tendency is much. According to, this is not, by the way, this is not Apostle Helen's thesis. This is National Coalition Against Domestic Violence report. So it is something that I picked up somewhere. So there are about, now, you see, the economic factor or the economic consequence of this is this. Look, about 16,800 homicides and $2.2 million medically treated injuries due to intimate partner violence annually, which cost about $37 billion a year. Do you see that? Mm-hmm. So you are abusing them, at the same time, there is economic damage. So now we have economic recession. I believe that there will be so much of argument at home, and that's why we want to talk about this issue with a point of finding solution to it, so that we don't kill each other in a relationship. So on this basis, I would want us to now officially open this session, and I call the MC to now come and do his job.
That was an awesome introductory speech. Okay, with this out of the way, I would like to introduce our panelists for tonight, so we can plunge into the main reason why we're here. I have this evening Miss Clementina Hausman. She works with Stonewall Hasselhoff here in Amsterdam. She's been 1 or 2 times on our radio program, so we know her quite well. So we're going to, she's going to be sharing this session with Mr. Nielko de Vries. Nielko de Vries is from the Blythe group. The Blythe group and the Stonewall Hasselhoff, they are like, I think, mother-daughter.
Yes.
Or they work together somehow. It's the same group but with sub branches or divisions. So 2 of them are here tonight, and we've had both of them in the radio show 1 time. So please help me welcome Valentina and Nielko. So it's all yours. Come again?
I can just sit down.
Yeah, feel free, feel free.
Maybe it's better for everyone.
Kneel down. Down with you one.
Clementine will give you some cards. Red one and green one. Maybe it's good for you that I will introduce myself a little bit more. I just work for a specialized team with restraining orders. So if there's really a lot of domestic violence in somebody's place, then the police and the KKB, they will come over and they will, in a really heavy situation, or there's really heavy domestic violence, then there will be a restraining order, and then they ask me to come over. And then I will talk to everybody, to the children, to the wife, to the husband, to everybody, and just to hear about the situation, and then I try to help them out. And to try to get domestic harmony again in somebody's place. So she tells me about 7 billion, so the 7 billion is one they pay me for as well. So maybe that's a good thing too. Clementine, maybe you can introduce yourself a little bit more?
Yeah, my name is Clementine and I work for about 8 years with the organizations where we are involved in domestic violence. And I've been in some different kind of types in the organizations, in the how you say, safe houses, and the front office. I went to families at home. I also worked in this area. Actually, in all Stadsdale in Amsterdam, I have worked as a social worker before. So yeah, I came with different kinds of families, and so in that way, I think I have an idea about the different kind of domestic violence and how to to help people and how to be aware about these problems in different kind of ways. So, and maybe later, the reason why we give these cards is I want to tell some kind of situations from my caseload before, and just to give idea if you think this is domestic violence or this is not domestic violence. And maybe there are different kind of opinions. So we can have an interaction, and maybe but we don't see each other, so I'm thinking maybe we have to say it a little bit different, I don't know.
Something like this, we can
That's fine by me.
Yeah, okay. But Nielko start with some cases.
Yeah, maybe it's first to really actually because of domestic harmony and to talk about domestic harmony. But first maybe it's good for you to know what is in your opinion what's domestic violence, and then we're going to discuss about what do you think you can do about it, and what do you think you can do to make it safe at home and you feel comfortable at home. So do you guys think, or girls, or ladies, when everybody's screaming back home, if your husband says or your wife says you're an asshole or you're an idiot, do you think that's domestic violence already?
You mean if
yeah, somebody
Why
screams and you say you're not good for me.
Yes, yes.
I will leave you. I will leave you if green, if you think yes it is, and red you think no for me.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Yes. Green is yes. Yes, it is. Green is yes, and the red is yes. And that's
This is violence,
Yes.
this is non-violence.
Okay.
Okay.
It's
Other way around.
Okay.
It is domestic violence.
Sorry?
Yeah, this is violence.
Okay.
Okay, this is violence. This is not violence. But the red is my color. Why?
Yeah.
That means danger. Red means danger.
Yeah, like the
But if
traffic
there's somebody who
lights.
says, well, for me, if someone is screaming to me or someone is just pointing to me, well, that's...
It's violence.
Is it for everybody? Is it violence or for the... I saw
Can be
the guys. I saw
has to be. This is violence.
And you? Do you think it's violence?
Ja, als ze iets vinden geweldig, dan...
I saw a green card with a man as well.
He's a man.
Wait, when we finish him, you will put the red one.
No, it's fine. I just want to hear why somebody thinks you think it isn't violence.
No.
Because it can be either.
Yes. And if it, yes.
Can you give an example?
If it is one time, then it's not violence.
It is what?
Once.
Once.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I disagree.
I don't agree.
We
I
disagree.
My own point is that you can't just continue your life without having an argument in a home. So it's not that when it doesn't happen, often happen, then it doesn't mean violence, because there are issues that you want to argue about. You know,
Don't agree
and,
with
yeah,
that
so
also.
definitely it's normal.
I
Even
don't agree
between
with
two
this
friends,
also.
it's normal.
Yes.
You know, when you don't disagree, you can never agree. But when it becomes often every time, then it becomes violent. But once in a time, it's not violent.
And also
Me.
the word he say asshole or something.
She points out, well, I'm going to bring the kids with me and you will never see the kids again.
He's threatening you.
Threatening. Okay, now you are expanding more.
Yeah.
But now the one that is like abusing,
That is emotional blackmail.
then it's violent.
It's violence.
But if it's only abusive word or just for between 1 week or something, then it's not violent. That's what I mean.
I think that it is either way violence because, and argue is good because even for that there is a study that you have to argue, but you have to have the technique also to make it good, to have a good argument. So I don't mind having a good argue because then you have also good solutions. But when you talk about screaming and whatever, you can be mad, but what about if the children are around? Then it affects them in a worse way, and you can repair that damage. In the evening, you go lay down beside your man or your spouse or whatever, but the child is, because it's a child, will not know what, how, whatever. That child is still suffering from that you just like see, oh, he just had something. So I think when you take your responsibility, 24 hours you have to be aware. That's it. And that is also to protect the domestic harmony.
Yeah.
That's how I think. No excuse.
So I think we should differentiate this topic this night because we are putting family, we are putting friends in it. So let's differentiate this topic completely because if my friend is shouting to me, it's a different thing. Like if from my husband, he's shouting to me.
And I'm just talking, this topic is, I think it's
Family.
Family.
Thank you. So let's not bring friends in.
No.
Because when you talk about domestic violence, it's a relationship between
Exactly,
the
that's my friend.
friends. That's
No, it's because my friend, if my friend shouts on me once, I could tolerate it. If she shouts on me second time, I think heaven is going to accept both people. You get the point, because my friend doesn't, if I love my friend deeply, a friend of 10 years got no right to shout on me, because in between that 10 years, we have built a relationship of understanding of each other, or tolerating each other. So if a friend of yesterday, trust me, I will put you to the boss, because you're not my friend.
okay.
Yeah.
This is about the domestic harmony.
Yeah.
So if I may come in here, we don't have to argue as family. We have to communicate. And when we're going to talk about communication, what is important is timing, your message, the accuracy, the way you are going to, present your own case. Everything brings, the understanding is, but if you argue with me, no, then we start the fire. So communication is what we're going to do, not the argument.
Is there a difference between a man and a woman?
And a woman, yeah, we communicate, or make signals and do it nicely, because if you shout in the night, don't touch me, don't kiss me, and then it continues. But you say, hey, Rudy, you see that thing happened? You know, we communicate. You time me. If I'm coming from work tired and hungry and you want to tell me something, maybe I don't want to listen. So the timing is important in how we present it. So we have a harmony at home.
Yeah.
The men's also have an opinion.
The three men always in the back. Like I used to do when I was at school, so I recognize myself in it. Do you want to give your opinion about it?
Yeah, I think on a personal level, I believe it has to do with what these ladies just said. Communication plays a role. And in communicating, what are you trying to put across? Communication, we know, is only complete when it's two-way street and not one-way street. But having said that, I believe part of communication is also arguing. That is why I would disagree with the lady, that argument or debate is also part of communication. But depending on the level with which you take the argument, if it becomes part of the words or language that you just used, if it becomes part, if such language becomes part of it, then it's abusive. Then it becomes abusive. But I do believe a heated argument can sometimes be productive within a relationship. Like research has also shown, two of a kind, that is two people that are maybe same character, etc., etc. It's not good for a relationship. Rather, opposites is match each other. And why? Where I go wrong or where I'm good, if she's my opposite, where I'm going probably too far, she can correct me. Yes. And if I am our opposite, where probably she's going too far, I can say back off. That is where opposite, they said, is better in a relationship than two that are of a kind. And yeah, if you look at it from that perspective, then you will now ask the question, is two that are of the same always wrong? You could as well argue that no. But if you ask me personally, what would you go for? I would rather choose my opposite rather than that which is mine, which is similar, or rather, yes, which is similar to me.
Okay.
So I would like to just end it there for now. Maybe somebody can take it from it.
Is there somebody who wants to give a reaction on what he said?
That he has a domestic harmony at home.
Sorry?
He has domestic harmony at home.
Well, you know,
that's a good question.
Yeah.
You know, if we all, or rather, I mean, for all of us present here tonight, if that person comes here now to tell you that he or she got perfect home, then he or she is not living in a real world.
Yes, yes, true.
I'm married and I've got 3 kids. My oldest is 12 years. He's just, I mean, he is just in his puberty. And my second child is 10, moving towards that direction as well. I have a young daughter of almost 2.5. I mean, I've got 2 jobs to take care of. My wife, she works. And at the end of the day, we still have to manage the home. If I come here to answer your question that look, I got 100% harmony at home. I'm only deceiving you, or rather not only deceiving you, I'm not only deceiving myself. And the last thing I do is for me to deceive myself.
Thank you. If I may add, I think we talk about abuse when, let's say, I mean, it's normal to want to scream or to say something with much more force, just to, make impact or to emphasize something. And that can come out sometimes, let's say I'm rushing out of the house and my wife is trying to, get my attention, or I'm running late. And sometimes I may just, rush out and maybe scream out, say something, not because I want to scream at her, but then my haste is kind of leads to that kind of expression. And so that we wouldn't call an abusive, expression, for example. But we're talking about when it comes like a regular pattern, of using hateful words, abusing words, insulting words, trying to push somebody down, or even hating and stuff like that. And it's constant. And the person does it and says, I'm sorry, and goes back to repeating the same thing. Then you're talking about abuse now. Because it's systemic or something like that. It's now a routine, more or less. Then, so I agree with him. I mean, once in a while in a home, tensions can rise and it goes down because that's a normal part of our relationship to one another. But when somebody exploits the other, or trying to push the other down, using abusive language or threats and what have you, then there's a problem.
Okay. I think I agree with you. Yeah. But if I ask you, how many of you have children? How many of you have children? So many of you. Yeah. If I see a lot of times, what I see happen is that there's some domestic violence between the parents and the child, and the children. And most of the time it's just a son, for example. And for you, is it domestic violence, or is it, how do you kind of repair the domestic violence? But first I want to ask you, is it domestic violence when a child hits you for the first time? And it happens, and he drinks some alcohol, and then he hits you for the first time. Are you going to call the police? Is it for your domestic violence? Is it way over the edge, and do you want to have some help? For me, green if you say, well, we need some help and I will call the police. Or red if you say, well, I think it's the first time we can handle it by ourselves.
In Africa, for example, let's say in Africa,
No, not in Africa. Let me put it, let me, one word, God forbid. No, yes. God forbid.
That's a question, I think,
Yes,
answers,
I cannot say that or agree.
In our culture, in Africa, it's a taboo for
God forbid
to stretch forth your hand against your other
With your parents.
And sometimes in Europe it happens, but the way we bring up our children, that's why it happens. Because here sometimes, let me use for instance for we Africans. Sometimes when they have children here, the way they will pamper the child, it's Europe. Europe, they don't beat children. And the child will be misbehaving, doing whatever you want to do. And insulting even parents. But in Africa, no, you dare not. You dare not. You can't even open your mouth to insult.
Even
here, forget about Africa. Africa is too far. Even here, as an African woman, my child has no rights.
Yes.
Not to even say, Mama, you be heck, or say you hit me.
No.
I will bury you. Do you understand? Because I never insulted my father or my mother before in my life to say I'm hitting my mother and my father. So it's an abomination.
Yes.
From where I come from. So that culture, I bring it here and indoctrinate it in my children.
Yes.
Thou shalt not hit your mother.
Now mother shall not hit you.
It's like a government.
Please.
Because I believe that according to domestic violence, especially among immigrants, is partly also because the new society we come live in. Because we don't have share in the thick. We just give you a good beat and you will never get it again. And here at school, at the speelzaal, they already learn the children, you know, to dial 118 or what number for kindertelefoon. And that infects our children also, because the school is more than half of the time our children is among that system, and that system is poisoning our children's head. When they come home, when you want to correct them, and when you used to, hey, you didn't, then you just turn around and give them on their belly, because my mother said there is meat, nothing can break there. So there you get it. So when they get such a thing, they go to school. The school starts a process against you, violence against your children. So I think it is the society outside our own society, because I think the society we are growing up in are very fundamental things, what help us stay till now and what make us be now adults. But coming in, especially Europe, with the Western ideas about how to bring up children and the free thinking and all that sort of things, they are messing with our children. And it starts at school and then it infected home. Because tomorrow they go to school again. And at home, you and your husband have stress because you have also a dream for your child. You don't want your child to become one of the percentage that is in prison. Because we are also aware of that. But that is where it stopped for us as parents, because the outside society, the system are stronger than us. And then our children get wasted.
Sorry, I disagree. Why? At one point. The system is bigger than us. No. My God is bigger than us. I am the mother of my child, not the society. Because if my child tomorrow ends up in going into that society, become a nuisance to the society, I am to be blamed, not the society. So if I don't discipline my child in my own way in my house to send that child to the society, because they said charity begins at home, to send that child to the society as a good human being, then instead of leaving that child to the society to train the child and burn that child and bring to me, then I get a blame. No, I better straighten that child, send it to the society. When anything happens, I hold the society responsible. That I try to discipline my child, but you refuse me, discipline my child. Now the child is misbehaving, now you are taking the child to prison. You have to put the mother in prison first. If I did a good job, then I will hold you responsible. If I did a bad job, then you can take the child. One thing, I have a child at home. You came from school telling me, Mama, they told us as a man, okay, case like a police bella. Oh yeah? Just pray to God. You understand? Pray to God, you don't do anything to make me come unto you. You do something wrong. That police, I will help you to hold that police. This is my weakness here. I will call the police for myself, for you. Okay, my child is straightened up because I will discipline you. So that I will, at least, somebody is Makruta's mother and father. If they didn't discipline their child, he would not be a prime minister what he is today. The same thing I want to bring into the society, a good human being to the society. Because every bad thing belongs to the parents. Every good thing. If my child become a good, well-known person, oh, Netherlands king, his Netherlands. But if that child become a bad person, oh, it's an African king, at least. African child. It's a black child, they come to spoil the society. No, it's not going to happen. I will not give that society that chance to help me discipline my child in the wrong way. I better produce a good child to the society because I will fight it with you. When they told me my child cannot go to school, cannot go to a precious school, I stood and told them, who told you that? Yeah, my friend, I said, how much cipher are you supposed to have to qualify for this education? You got 500 plus, 560, 580. So my child is going to go to that school, not be on bail. I stood, you kill me, I'll die. Ah, yeah, my brother is hell. Because if you shout, they will want to listen to you. But if you go, okay, it's good, yeah, I don't care. You lose. I don't lose because God did not create me a loser.
Yeah.
So society, we do it together.
I have nothing to say. I just agree with the woman up front.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. That's why we are here.
But also with Beryl, it's always a struggle.
That's why we are here.
Because of the world inside and the world outside. It's always a struggle.
And society shows the figures. You can want something, maybe she's one of the few, but society shows different figures. I wish all moms were like that, but the reality is not like that. And we can't only trip on that, because what is.
Yes.
And that is a prison that is full of our children.
But it's also
And it is not only in Europe, it's all over the world.
Yeah.
They build prison for our children.
But I agree with this lady.
Sometimes.
It's very important how the mother stands for herself and for her children.
And Alice, you agree with me?
Of course, I also agree with you. All the participation. You see, that's it. You participate as
You see, empowerment. We're empowering.
Exactly.
Well, but I don't know what we are talking about yet. I need some information from these people before I involve myself in this discussion. Because 3 years ago we had this huge campaign in the Belmer here on domestic proof, or have they stayed the same, or have they got worse? Yes. Tell me something about that. You must know about the details, or the Stadsdeel maybe does.
Well, I can tell you.
Or even in Amsterdam if you don't know about Southeast.
Well, I don't know about Southeast. But the thing is that, well, oops, why?
Oh, because
What you deal with every day. How successful have you been? Because you go to country to put the harmony in the family, when police calls you. That was the introduction you made.
Yeah.
In your own point of view, just give us how successful have you been? Then we can be able to.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing is,
I want to answer a question, please. For example, you live in Southeast. For example, 2 months ago there was also an actie, a Roze actie, with, against elder abuse. Did you follow it?
No. I lived inside Oost at the time of the big campaign, so I left and I'm here tonight.
But for example, there is a new campaign in all the stadsdelen, and this is about elder abuse. It's a lot of campaign, it's landelijk, but also in Amsterdam. And what we see now, it started 2 years ago as well. Now we get more numbers, for example, this problem. So slowly we get numbers because we have campagnes, so this is going to change.
What I miss is, because I know that the police make it almost a duty to recognize domestic violence. So I'm very curious now, because every single call to the police, according to domestic violence, they register. So there should be numbers of it, and also numbers in what grade the violence was. Because I figured that it happens like that, because you said a lot of women, people like to be very secret about it. I'm a woman like that, and I'm not secret about it, because you can be secret about it and help other people like that. I was in a very violent relationship, got almost raped and killed. So I know the whole process, as experience it, what the process is towards and I can tell you when the police come, it is only stuff of a real you see after that. But that's why I like the triac before getting to the violence part. I like the harmony part.
But you still don't have your answer.
Well, I wonder why you're here and why maybe the organization thinks this is a crucial topic, because it's still relevant in the Belmer, or is it just prevention, normal prevention, going through the motions, or is there really something happening right now in this Belmer, in this moment, and is it really urgent, or are you just doing your job on a hot summer day and having some...
It's in other cities, it's also, there is no awareness in the Belmer. It's in every stadsdeel there is this problem.
Yeah, but is it an urgent problem?
Well, the thing is, maybe for you it's good to tell something about, I do the really massive domestic violence, really heavy things, and at the moment I have something like 15 cases in the Belmer around. Yeah, so there's a really a restraining order is given out in this area, Kleines, at this time. So today, nowadays, there are 15 people out of here. Out of the house, so they will be around. And there's really if first people will call to the there's by Info, yeah, the Stempelhuis of Geweld, they get the first call, and if it's really if the police thinks or the TVD thinks this needs some work, they need some help around to get some. They need some help with about a relationship or whatever, then we come in and there are around 300 to 350 restraining orders in Amsterdam a year. So last year it was around 302, for example. They were in Amsterdam, all over Amsterdam.
No, what she wants to know is it increasing or decreasing?
It's increasing.
The thing is that 4 years ago, there wasn't something like a restraining order.
No.
So, no, it's just here for around 4 years. It started in 2009. I think that was around the time that, so it's, the reason why there is a restraining order, because the saw, it was increasing. I see it myself, I see it happening every day, that it's getting worse and worse, the domestic violence. It's getting you see it in the, you can see it at the mental, the GGZ,
yes.
The mental health.
Yes.
They are losing money. Yeah, so there are many people that can be helped, so they sent back home. Yeah.
We'll have this discussion that we have here and now, and also maybe we also need to look more scrutinized. But when it comes to male and female violence, I can imagine. But on the other hand, the violence towards children. From when I lived in the Belmer and I worked with young people in the Belmer for 25 years, I knew that it was a very intricate, a very delicate issue, and it was especially relevant to girls with mothers. And very often it was not even physical, but there was a lot of stress and violent, mental violence mostly. And to me that was really important to work around it, but in the work I was doing. But I don't know the present situation, and in the discussion, the debates we just had, and those mothers, you and her speaking up, I agreed for a part, but on the other hand, because of working so long with young people, I have to disagree. Well, not disagree, but I would rather like to ask parents in general to look again at their own strong points of view, and also check whether they really see these young people as equals, and see the tension, because of course at the end of the day we all are stressed from our work. I personally believe that poverty has a big impact on domestic violence, especially now. But still, it's the individual's freedom as a parent and responsibility, just like the others you mentioned, to really look if you're not violating your child still. Even though they cannot go and call the police or
my daughter's
whatever.
not a baby, yeah? She's not a baby, my daughter's not a baby.
Yeah,
She's
no,
not.
especially, yeah.
You know, look, it's the, you have
teenagers.
Parents have start having problems with their children as from 12 because they are going into that puberty. They begin to know their rights and their left.
And their rights.
They want to
push you beyond where you don't want to go, in the sense that, yeah, I can do this myself, I can do that myself. But the thing is, when problem comes, they are coming to you, the same mother, the same father. But you let them understand the society is not what you think it is. A lot of this is illusion. I have been on this earth more than you are, my child. You better listen, advice. The advice of a mother goes a long way in the life of a child. Do you understand? If my child tells me, I want to go to the disco, as from 12 years old, to go to the disco 6 o'clock in the evening, I come back tomorrow 2 o'clock. For God's sake, what are you doing? No, sweetheart. There's time for everything. You get to that point of that disco. But now, don't be in a haste. But it becomes a problem. You don't want me to be free. You don't want me to do this. No, not at 12 years old, my dear. You go out at 12 years. Your brain is not developed yet. You go out, you don't know how to drink, but you drink for the first time. You end up in coma. You end up in problems. Or you don't know when somebody slips something into your water, you swallow it up. This becomes a problem with parents because a child is trying to find his or her identity, which he thinks you are depriving him, her from, of him from. No, you are not depriving. But you try to let your child understand, please, be patient, be patient. But your child wants to fly higher before you.
Okay. This is somebody you want to give. You want to give a reaction?
Yeah, I would like to ask a question. About the violence we are talking is juvenile misbehavior or is home violence between man and woman? Which one talking
The thing is, domestic violence. I cannot say it's always between men and women. It's always the problem. That's why there isn't a solution. Is that there's domestic violence between all the parts of the family. It can be like your children together. It can be like your wife and your daughter. It can be everybody. So that's why it's so hard to say. Well, that's the solution about domestic violence. So it's a topic about the whole situation about domestic violence, but how to create domestic
harmony.
Because juvenile misbehavior comes from parents misunderstanding. Most of those here we are living, the parents, the children from single parents, single mother. Mostly, they don't have a role model.
It's important we kind of stay in line with what we are trying to achieve. It is to pick up from one another, some skills, with which you can handle some of these situations, which I believe we all experience at one stage or the other. Nico, just to step in so that we can, guide the whole discussion properly, so that we can feel that the time we spend here is worthwhile. So if there are some tips and hints you want to bring it up, and if people here sitting here also have some ideas or some experience they want to share with us, let them share it. Because we all admit, and I like what Ogun said. He was so honest. He said, well, he's been married, he's married, and he has a family, he's raising kids, and he cannot deny that once in a while, tempers rise, tempers flare up. There is some tension, it's there. Okay. We want to learn how he deals with things like that when it does come up. We all can share our experiences, then we go home and reach. I think that's what we want to achieve tonight.
First of all, I want to address the issue you just raised, that is one or two skills on how I think, in as much as I'm not going to, impose it on anybody here tonight, but one thing that I did, first address the point you raised, and then come back to this lady on the issue of numbers, statistics, and etc., that she was trying to, or rather she raised, if I can address that for a few minutes. Well, what I think is, in terms of harmony, you have to, tolerance has to be a key word, or a key issue that has to come to bear. And what do I mean by tolerance? You find out that in a situation whereby I, as a husband, I'm trying to raise my wife all over again. Whereas this is a woman that's already been raised by her parents. Or rather, or the other way around, my wife trying to raise me all over again when I've already been raised by my parents. Definitely something's going to go wrong.
It's going to be an explosion.
Oh, definitely. So what I would say is just, you know, take the good with the bad. That is, this guy has been raised. He is not perfect. This lady or this woman has been raised. She is not perfect. But be that as it may, there are good qualities. There are stuff that I see in her. There are stuff that I see in him that are okay. In as much as he is not complete, she is not complete. Take the good with the bad. Yes. And that is where the issue of tolerance that I'm talking about comes in. You've got to tolerate each other.
Yes, exactly.
If you like each other enough, if you love each other.
Okay.
Do you tell your wife what you think where she's really good at?
Oh, sure, I do sometimes.
Yeah.
In as much as, yes, as an African, I also have to admit that part of it that I won't speak for all Africans, but as an African, that is one aspect that sometimes that could be very edgy with us, or with me, and not with us. But sometimes I do try, you know, what you mean is compliment. Just every now and then, okay, that's great, I find what I mean, just something like that. I try the best I can, but you know, I cannot tell you, oh, every time I come back from the job, oh, how good you looking you are. I mean, it give me a break. So, coming back to the, if you don't mind, just 2 minutes to address the issue of, you know, the statistics Madam was talking about. You see, the issue we are dealing with right now is a social issue.
Let them keep it. This is just paper.
It is relevant for the next workshop. So it's irrelevant.
think they want to have it?
Because it can be
We've
just,
had so many things
just
of
paper, isn't it?
issues when, you know, people come up with statistics that, oh, statistics says this and that, because that's basically what the woman was asking. What is the statistics? What does it say at the moment?
Because when I went
You know,
to the
if
work,
I have to use the African issue as an example, we've had that
they
10
allowed
of
us to
the,
go with them.
you know,
They gave us
fastest growing economy in the
They
world.
gave us
They are in
four
Africa.
colors they gave
By
us.
numbers. But do go there and see the life people are living. So I don't believe in that numbers. It's an issue. I don't believe in that kind of statistics. I don't believe in that kind of number. If it is an issue that has to be dealt with, that is relevant yesterday, today, and tomorrow, it has to come up. And I believe that's what the organization did,
yes,
or is doing, when they brought up this issue. Yes, 4 years ago, like Madam said, yeah, this issue was brought. It's like the issue of poverty. It's like the issue of dropouts.
Yes, global.
School drops out. It is a social issue.
Yes.
You are not going to tell me, okay, because statistics says, oh, it was good last
you stop.
2-3 years ago, so let's go.
No.
It changes.
Yes.
It changes day in, day out.
Yes.
Year in, year out. And as such, like I said, like it was relevant yesterday, so it is still relevant today, and it will be relevant tomorrow, and it is worth talking about day in, day out. In as much as, or whatever the statistics may show, statistics are just, with all due respect,
just a snapshot at the particular time. Well spoken.
See, if we come in here, the whole world is based on love. And love is very simple. Caring for somebody and sharing with the person. You share your feelings, your time, your money, and this. But in this our society, like, I have my money, my husband has his money. And he said, you pay rent, you pay this, you pay this. Or he pays everything and I send my money to build a beautiful house in Ghana. You see? Or my little girl is there. I said, okay, you buy dress. I said, no, I don't buy dress because I said there's no money. So we are not caring, we are not sharing. So when these things are happening, we forget about statistics and violence and love and everything. There's going to be chaos. So the only thing, so far as and so long as this society has rejected God and love and making new plans, The new plans is only bearing the fruit of violence. So we will wait till the new system has destroyed everything, then maybe we go back to the fundamental loving and respecting.
Yeah. Okay, we do that.
Then we can solve the problem.
Did you hear that?
So that's
Maybe that's a good.
But what do you have to say?
Yeah, no,
Because you have to go in a paper.
No, it's another subject.
Because
It's
all
about
the
sexual
old one
violence.
went. The old law.
Yes, then you have to come in now so that we can deliver everything you have.
Yeah, but
Otherwise,
we have 50 minutes. It's the time is finished. This is a new discussion. It's about domestic
Don't talk
violence.
to your husband. Oh, we break the house. You
go
find
and speak with my husband. Recording
that
this.
one is not working. It's producing only violence and anger, emotional, physical, mental, everything. And the government is supporting that. Oh, you divorce him, take a new house. Your child is 18, let him get pregnant, go to another house. And it's not working. It's producing only violence and violence. So if the society agrees on the fundamental loving
You can speak with
and
him.
caring,
I'm busy
Bible
with
principle,
recording.
the primitive way we love, we care, we share, then we will see. But so far as they said that one is not working.
So I've heard already a couple of solutions. Is somebody else?
This is practical.
What you're saying is more practical.
Yeah, and a little bit cynical. I understand where it comes from, but that's not the solution. No, but we are still part of the democracy. So that's where you come in. And you have another opinion, and you have your power to present. For instance, I've been spending 25 years of my life with what I believe in. I believe in helping the mothers, because we were just talking about what
helping
happened.
the mother, say like a little girl.
No, let me
come in here. You see, you don't know what I want to say. No, let me tell you something. You see, if you want to help a mother that goes to make a baby, illegal baby, no husband, and you give money to her, and at the age of 14, 15, the baby is fighting with the mother, single mother, and you want me to say, we want to stop violence, that is not what the Bible is saying. That is what my culture is saying. So it doesn't work.
Okay. What I wanted to say is what I've been spending my 25 years in my life here in this Belmer is seeing that how many of these mothers, single or not, have been struggling, and I started my work dealing with some of the issues that cannot be dealt with because she has to run to her work. Not the first, but the second job as well, and sometimes even a third. So I started the work with the kids themselves, training them in how to deal, how to talk to their parents in a decent way within the cultural settings, and train with them, because you cannot just tell them. You need to exercise. You need to look at issues with them, discuss the problems. Also, the same thing happens in schools. How to address racial issues with schools, also in a decent way. How to address it from their teenage point of view. Because as we speak, the hormones are also raising. And still they need to deal with that. See you go. And all the things they want, your parents want the good thing for you.
They want freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom.
In its
At
way.
14, from 14, they want freedom. No, it's not going to happen.
So there is many ways to help each other, one another.
And if the community helps also.
5 more minutes.
That is good.
But the one question.
Your question.
Sorry, did you finish? Yeah, because I believe that we are confronted with violence in one form or the other, or domestic abuse in one form or the other.
This is mother and father violence, the word.
Now, and most of us here probably are living with partners, or and we would like you to share. You may share some of the secrets you have in dealing, which has helped you in dealing with some of the domestic situations you have been facing. I think I'll be very fulfilled living here tonight, learning how you deal with some, let's say, abuses, it's a verbal abuse, or when you have a wife who maybe is, or a husband who is not, who is maybe highly emotional or temperamental. How do you handle things like that?
Exactly.
So you can keep the relationship going for as long as possible. How do you handle a woman who is throwing things at you all the time? When she gets into her feet, then she breaks How do you deal with that?
Yes.
How do you deal with the man who is always, pressing the woman down? He says, well, I make the money, I pay the bills, and so you better be quiet. How do we deal with this? Because these are the basic practical issues we face every day. How do we deal with them? I think I would be very fulfilled living here tonight with those questions answered.
Can you counseling?
What did you say?
The new society is offering us counseling.
Let's be frank with the whole thing.
Yes.
Let me face everybody.
Thank you.
You see, our violence has, may I?
Of course.
Violence in life, it has its different way of showing its face. I will start with what I went through. I'm a single mother for 19 years now. Fear has not let me say hello to any other man because of what I went through. It's not a joking matter. Because of what I went through with the father of my children. When I hear somebody talking about domestic violence, if you don't know what it is, please don't even bother talking about it unless you've gone through this thing. It's not an easy thing. It's better for somebody to have a cancer than going through a domestic violence because one day, sorry, I feel like crying right now.
Don't.
One day you might be cured. But domestic violence is a stigma that is in you for the rest of your life. Because I went through mine. It's by the grace of God I'm sitting down with you this evening to talk to you about it. I am still trying to get out of it. It's a sickness that never leaves you. In my own case, I hold on to God I serve, that I believe in, that I know He strengthens me every day. Because whether you don't do nothing wrong, you're going to be bounced upon. He's going to beat you blue black. He's going to make sure. In my own, he has this insecurity. I don't go out. Look at me, a stewardess. Before I met the father of my children, I've seen the whole world. I've traveled far and wide before I met him. But I became a locked-in house wife. I can't go out. I can't go to the supermarket. I can't even talk to a neighbor through the window. He goes to work, he locked me in. When he decides I go out, we go out hand in hand together. Wow. And that hand in hand together, sometimes I will be in front, he will be behind me. So if nobody knows anything about domestic violence, please don't talk about it because you don't know what it is. You don't just sit down here to make a noise of what you don't know about.
Exactly.
Unless people that have gone through it that can talk about it. It's a sickness that never leaves you.
Speak.
I have to, every power I have is just the sex. Only sex I can subdue the father of my children. He beats me. Still, I'm naked for him to have his way. Because why? That is the only way I can make peace in a home.
It's not a funny issue.
So it's a thing that continues forever, ever. I am lucky. I almost died.
Yes.
But God said I will not. Men kill their wives today.
Yes.
Women kill their husband today because of one thing or the other. But I didn't have the grace to kill him. Not that I wouldn't have killed him, but God did not create me a killer.
So, yeah. As I was
So,
saying, I was also a woman.
It's not an easy thing to go through. But we need to enlighten women about it. If it starts by you are crazy, before he raises his hand, you get out. Because the moment you let him raise his hand, you never do nothing about it. That is how it's going to be continuously.
Exactly. Exactly.
Society might think you want to be an independent woman. No, you don't want to be an independent woman. I've decided to survive, decided to stay alive, then I left. No, I did not leave because of 2 days or 3 days.
No.
This thing continued for years and years. I can't call nobody. I can't talk to nobody. I don't have no family here when I met the father of my children. He brought me all the way from Nigeria. Because of that, I resigned my beautiful job. I was in love. Love. L-O-V-E. Brought me here.
Love and see
We
my
met in my country. He was an engineer for KLM. I was a stewardess for Nigeria. It was how we met. I fall in love. Therefore, I fall in love instantly.
Yes.
Instant noodle. That was what I was. I couldn't stay without him. I came. That was a mistake I made.
Yes.
From here, I resigned my job in Nigeria. I did not resign from my country. I resigned from here. So, domestic violence is a thing you don't have the strength to fight. If you don't leave on time, the moment you know it's turning upside down, get out.
Yes.
Whether it's a man, excuse me?
How you solve it?
How I solved it, it took me time because I didn't know what to do. I don't know nobody. I cannot talk to nobody. Neighbor, when the beating was getting too much, neighbor called the police. I was pregnant with my daughter. He almost killed me. Despite all he wanted to do in my neck to kill me that same afternoon, I was naked for him to have his way. He did what he wanted to do. He stood up. Spit on me.
Jesus. Wicked man.
Can I ask you?
Yes, sir.
I'm just curious anyway. Listening to your story so far, I would say I don't know this guy, but
He's not a Nigerian, he's a Suriname man.
that's okay.
What is? Yes, he's a Suriname man. Oh, trust me.
He's small quality there.
Suriname have Curacao.
He doesn't need to smoke or drink for that. There are more.
I would say
he's not alone.
I feel your pain.
Thank you, sir.
But I want to ask this question that is with the issue between you and your child or your children you raised earlier. Do I say something of, because of what you went through this man? Is it something directly or indirectly, consciously or unconsciously? In somehow agreeing with what this lady said, because the law could be sometimes very rigid and at the same time could be very flexible. Is there something of a transferred, unconscious transferred aggression on your children? No. No, excuse me, because you raised the issue of freedom, wanting to be free, and the way this guy tied you down, which at the end of the day you regret. Could this have been a situation whereby maybe unconsciously you are not even aware of it, that somehow it is that same way you are dealing with your kids? I mean, I don't know. I'm just
listen, my children are free. But a 14-year-old child as a dad cannot tell me I'm going to a party. That's what I'm trying to say. 14 years is just too young. You can go to a party, I'll go with you. I wish I gave them the option. I'll go with you. But I say no, my children, my other friends, their mother are not going with them. Why should I go? I said, my dear, world is not what you think it is.
And 12 is too young.
Yes, exactly.
Even you in Nigeria, when you were in Africa, can you go tell your father you go to a party at 14 years old? Please stop to me.
When you go
so it's not a thing I was trying to suppress my children. There is time for it. Now she's 18, she's 19. She can go to a party so long as you let me know, Mama, it's 2 o'clock, please come pick me up. I will be there to pick you up. Don't enter the road late. That's why I said there's time for everything. Don't be in a hurry at 14. They have youth disco, yes, but things happen. A lot of children die now because of trying to swallow one pill or the other. Things happen. I try to protect my children because they are my life. So I'm not disciplining them. I'm not trying to be hard on them. But wait. God said the good things happen to those who wait. I better let my children stay alive than losing my children. But so it's not anything like I'm being wicked or I'm being harsh on them. No. So it's a different issue entirely between me and their father. For their sake, I left. I love the man. That's why he was there. I loved him as a then. But the law, they felt this is too much. They took me out of the house. I wanted to stay with him, with everything. Then I came to realize as a mom, when you are being violated, when you are being abused, you prefer to stay with your abuser than leaving your abuser.
Absolutely. That's how it is.
The more he abused me, the more I fall in love with him. Huh? Yes. The more he beats me, the more I cling on to him. To me, I thought it was love.
Yeah.
Do you understand? I love my children. They are my life. But now they are grown. Now they have their freedom. They can do whatever they like best. On one condition: don't let the police call me. Wherever you think you are, if you're in Amsterdam, you go to party, call me. I will drive all the way down to pick my child up from wherever she is. So it has nothing to do with this at all. I will give my life up for my children, but I cannot give my life up for their father. So I went through, my dear brother. That's why we are here today to talk about it. It's a painful thing, it's a sick disease that it doesn't leave the woman. It takes time.
Lara, do you want to share a story?
Okay. I know that was story, and I like the testimony. And pain, I think when you you share the experience of domestic violence in what we have, the pain is the same for everyone. The situation is different. And I have my share of life also. But, and it is not a but, the way I deal with that period of my life gives me the strength, and I think you also, to be here, but also to be more, to participate in the social level of life, because you are such aware of the impact that it has on a person's life, but a family, a community. So you know the pain you go through. You don't need necessarily to go through it too. We can share our experience together. To heal, because it's also, there is no doctor who can heal you. To heal, in my case, yes, to heal in my case is to share experience. I don't need to tell people, he smashed my head to the wall, or he did that, he did, no, I don't need to tell people that. What I need to tell people is how it feels when you feel less. Because that is all about, violence is all about that. How do you feel? How
you lose your self-esteem?
Yes, of course. It works on your self-esteem, because she said she's keep on loving him. So that means that she has such a low self-esteem to love her abuser. She don't see the difference between love and violence, that it is paining her. I'm so glad that I saw it, and thank God I let the police handle it. He get 1.5 years, but it is still a mark, a scarf on your soul. And if I have 2 daughters and 2 sons, then it is very difficult for the children to see all that. Even if they try to keep things neat, the children, they don't underestimate it. The children, they can feel your pain. You can put the biggest smile on your face, they can feel your pain. And it is very important for the children to know that they are not like, that you're not taking their pain seriously. Because then when the children try to behave in a different way than you're used to, don't think the children is like a rebellion or what, but it is the child's way to deal with those pressure.
Yes.
And that is what and I was really aware of that, and that is why I'll take the abuse, because the children love the other parents. Yeah? And then you have the urge to take the abuse because you like to have your child have their parents nearby. But at the end, the time when you come to decide is mostly the time that your child told you, Mom, I don't mind you to take me and go away. But then you let it go too far. Yeah? But it is always because you're thinking, how will the child develop further? You're always thinking about the smallest children in the family. But you're harming them to stay in the new situation. Then you better hurt them in one time, but for the good, than hurt them and holding the bad thing. What happened? I started to talk with women. Because the police they are doing their duty. And they don't care, slachtofferhulp, blah, blah, blah. But it is all statistic and so hospitalized
It's not personal. You don't feel human when they are dealing with you. And it is like a case for them. And they can't empathize with you. So most of the time when they have a signal that there is abusement there, the way the the people who are helping you, the way they put themselves is like you like a case. You're the number, not even your feeling, only statistic things. And that's why I go in the society, and that's why I see that there is, I can walk now only in the hall, and I just knock on the door and you can go for 100% is violence. But they will not go to systems like this, because it's not because they are white, no, it's because the system is not human. They don't know what we are going through. They don't know what to expect. They don't know what to do with us. The only thing what they do is, hey, let's call the police. Let's call KKFD. Hey, but they make things worse. They don't know, but they make things worse.
Sometimes, not all the time.
Most of the time, even in my case, because
save lives.
No, at that time for the statistics. But what they do, let's say they take the guy, they bring him for 3 days in prison. After 3 days, they have no case, they have to let him go. The guy is coming one time, he kills her, they go. So what protection? There is no protection. So they have a case, but I don't have protection. And the women don't take the case to help you build your case. They want to keep their life to be for the children. That is why they don't have the real statistic about violence that is here. So, because they will not have it also, I think the advice is to go like domestic harmony. Because that is, in their case, the best way to help the society. It's the best way to help the society. So not keep their eyes on the violence, but on the harmony. There is more work like there at that point. That was my testimony.
Thank you very much. I like the ending, the way it's come to pass. But you know what? I'm going to invite